Welcome back. We're going to continue with our lesson on one-step equations, although this time let's go ahead and look at what happens when we're doing equations with multiplying and dividing. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. If you have more specific questions on equations and why we do equations the way we do, I would go back to the adding and subtracting one-step equations. It kind of goes into it. With this, to save you some time, I'm just going to go right into how to do specifically multiplying and dividing one-step equations. Let's start off with a problem 5m equals 15. Okay, so again, main idea, main principle with solving one-step equations is we want to get the m, our variable, by itself. That means we need to get rid of the number, or whatever number is with it, whatever operations we have to undo. So in this case, we have 5 times m. Well, to undo multiplication, the inverse operation of multiplication is to divide. So we're going to divide by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 times m is simply m. And again, whatever we do to one side, we're going to have to do to the other side. So I'm going to do 15 divided by 5 over here. And 15 divided by 5 would get us 3. And again, we can check our answer the exact same way as we've done the other equations. So let's just look at it. We're going to have 5 times 3 equals 15, and 5 times 3 equals 15 equals 15. We have a correct answer. That's all we have to do. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you. Now, again, there are different ways of doing this problem. The way I was taught to write it as a fraction. So I was taught if we have 4 times y equals 24, that I would divide 4y by 4. So I would take my 4y and I would divide it by 4 using a fraction type method, and these simply cancel out. And that would do the same thing over here. 24 divided by 4, and basically 24 divided by 4 is 6. So y equals 6. Again, it gets you the same answer either way. It really makes no difference how you're doing it, as long as you understand the main principle of undoing through inverse operations to get your variable all by itself. So again, 4 times our 6 equals 24. 4 times 6 is 24 equals 24. And this one also checks out. All right, so you may be wondering, well, what happens if I have a division problem? Well, we can do a couple of division problems, see how they work out. What if I have x divided by 2 equals 5? So when you see this, you can think of this either as x divided by 2 equals 5, or, actually this means the same thing as 1/2 times x equals 5. They really mean the same thing. You could treat them either way. I think of this as a division problem. You can think of it as a fraction problem. The same inverse operation works on either one. So if we are dividing by 2, the opposite of dividing is to multiply by 2. Now I'm going to show you two different ways. Again, hopefully it will make sense to you one way or the other, but the key thing here is to realize you're undoing division by multiplying. That is the key. Now I allow my students to just go ahead and write down times 2 over here, and then times 2 over here, because if I'm dividing by 2 and I multiply that by 2, they cancel out because they're inverse. That may seem a little confusing to you. I will show you another way that hopefully will make more sense to you if that is confusing. And so I'm left with x, and 5 times 2 is 10. And so I can simply say that 10 divided by 2 equals, we'll say our 10 divided by 2 equals 5. 5 equals 5. They check off. Now, again, if you want to, you can do it this way over here where we're going to multiply 1/2 by x equals 5. And then I'm going to undo, I'm going to get rid of multiplying by half by multiplying by 2 over 1. I'll show you how that works. These cancel out. It gets us 1 and 1, and 1x is the same thing as x. Maybe that makes more sense to you. You can do it that way. And then 5 times 2 over 1 is the same thing as 5 times 2, which is 10. We get the exact same answer. There's actually one other way that I can show you how to do this, if it makes more sense to you. You have to let me know if you understand it. Let's start off with, actually there's a few other ways I can show you. Let's do w divided by 6 equals 3. So another way of doing this is you could have, I'm going to rewrite my w divided by 6 equals 3. And then I'm going to, it's very much like what we did on the second example for number 3. I'm going to multiply it by 6 over 1 and multiply this by 6 over 1. And watch what happens. I'm simplifying, cross canceling here. I can divide both of these 6's by 6, get 1 and 1. And now I have 1 times w over 1, which simply gets me w. And then 3 times 6 equals 18. Maybe one of these ways makes sense to you. Hopefully it does. So we're going to do 18 divided by the 6 equals 3. Well, 18 divided by 6 is 3, which equals 3, and we have a correct answer. Hopefully one of these methods makes sense to you as far as with the dividing fractions. I know, or dividing the one-step equations with division. I know it's a little bit more confusing. It's going to take practice. Once you practice enough, you will eventually master this and you will become experts and it will be very easy. You have a fantastic day. Thank you.